21-year-old rookie just told the President of the United States, "Not today." And somehow, that is the least shocking thing happening inside the Las Vegas Raiders right now. Before we dive in, smash that subscribe button if you want the fastest Raiders updates. The son of a legend. Gone. Let's start with the move that hit the NFL world like a freight train this Monday. Brendan Rice is out. Cut. Done. No ceremony, no farewell speech, no second chance. Now let that sink in for a second. We are talking about the son of Jerry Rice. Jerry Rice. The greatest wide receiver to ever lace up a pair of cleats. A man so dominant, so untouchable, that his Hall of Fame legacy still echoes through every football conversation decades later. And yet, his son just got walked out of the building like a stranger. Is this the coldest move the Raiders have made in years? Absolutely. Is it the right one? That is the question tearing fans apart right now. The Raiders did not just release Brendan Rice to clear roster space. They released him to sign linebacker Cameron McGrone.
A defender.
A guy who has bounced between 4 different NFL teams in 2 years. A player who recorded barely 2 tackles all of last season. So let me ask you this. What kind of message does that send to every single player sitting in that locker room? It sends the most brutal message in professional sports. Your last name means nothing here. Your father's trophies mean nothing here. If you cannot fight for your spot every single day, you are gone. Simple as that. This is not sentiment. This is not nostalgia. This is Clint Kubiak running a results-only operation, and he just proved it with one of the most emotionally charged cuts we have seen in recent Raiders history. But here is what most people are completely missing about McGrone. Yes, his stats look thin. Yes, his resume looks shaky on paper. But this man plays every single special team snap like it is the last paycheck he will ever earn. That desperate, hungry, survival mentality. That is exactly the culture the new Raiders coaching staff is trying to build from the ground up. By cutting Rice, the Raiders are also quietly admitting something uncomfortable. The receiving core right now is not where it needs to be. They are clearing deadweight and making room. But room for what exactly? We will get to that explosive answer in just a minute. Because there is a $29 million name floating around Las Vegas right now that could change this entire offense overnight. But first, we need to talk about the rookie quarterback who just created an international incident. The rookie who stood up the president 21 years old. Brand new to the NFL. Fresh off winning the Heisman Trophy. And Fernando Mendoza just became the most talked about athlete on the entire planet. Not because of a touchdown pass, not because of a combine number, but because he skipped a White House visit. Not just any White House visit either. His Indiana Hoosiers team won the national championship. Coach Curt Cignetti and the whole program showed up in Washington to celebrate one of the most incredible Cinderella stories college football has ever seen. The cameras were rolling. The applause was loud. The moment was historic. And Mendoza was not there. President Donald Trump addressed the absence directly and on camera said he was not happy about it, while also admitting Mendoza had called him. Trump even went as far as predicting the young quarterback would win early in his NFL career. That was not just a compliment. That was pressure wrapped inside a prophecy delivered on a global stage. Now Mendoza is carrying the weight of a presidential prediction on his rookie shoulders before he has thrown a single NFL pass. But here is the part that actually gives you chills. Mendoza skipped the White House because he was locked in at Raiders spring training. He chose film sessions and practice representatives over a historic photo opportunity. He chose grinding over glory. He chose the future over the past. And that decision just split every Raiders fan straight down the middle. Drop a comment right now. Was Mendoza right to skip the White House for training camp, or did he cross a line? Let the debate begin below. Some people see a young man with the kind of focus that turns good players into legends. The kind of obsession that built Tom Brady's dynasty. The kind of tunnel vision that made Kobe Bryant unstoppable. Others see a dangerous warning sign. A 21-year-old who already thinks he is bigger than tradition, bigger than respect, bigger than the institutions around him. And here is where the real knife's edge appears inside Allegiant Stadium. Kirk Cousins is in that building. A $100 million veteran quarterback who has seen everything this league has to offer. A player hired specifically to bring stability and leadership to a chaotic situation. And now he is sharing a locker room with a rookie who skipped the White House to study tape. Cousins represents control, patience, and a proven method. Mendoza represents fire, urgency, and an absolute refusal to wait his turn. When those two worlds collide, and they will collide, what happens to the Raiders' locker room chemistry? That answer depends heavily on one thing. What weapons does Fernando Mendoza actually have around him when Week 1 kicks off? Because right now, the answer is not pretty. And that brings us to the biggest decision the Raiders front office is staring at right now. $29 million lifeline. Picture this. You hand a Formula One driver the most powerful engine ever built. Then you put that engine inside a car with worn-out tires and no backup parts. That is Fernando Mendoza's situation at this exact moment. Right now, his top receiving options are Trey Tucker and Jack Beck. Both hard-working players. Both fighting for their spot. But if the season started tomorrow, those are the guys a rookie quarterback would be leaning on against the best defenses in the NFL. That is not a recipe for a Super Bowl run. That is a recipe for surviving Sundays and nothing more. So who is the answer? One name keeps coming up in league circles and front office conversations. Joshua Palmer. Palmer just signed a contract worth around $29 million with the Buffalo Bills. But after a brutal, injury-plagued 2025 season, his role in Buffalo has shrunk significantly. With the Bills now adding DJ Moore to their receiving room, Palmer's place on that roster is under serious pressure. And Vegas is watching very closely. Go back to 2022 and Palmer was an absolute weapon. A receiver who found open space under pressure. A professional route runner who made quarterbacks look good. A veteran who understood leverage, timing, and how to win against tough coverage. That is exactly what Fernando Mendoza needs standing next to him when defenses dial up the heat on a rookie signal caller. But the risk here is real and it is massive. You are potentially trading draft capital and taking on a multi-million-dollar salary for a player coming off the worst stretch of his career. If Palmer walks into Vegas and his body simply cannot hold up, the Raiders have just destroyed 3 years of salary cap flexibility for nothing. The window to make this move is closing fast. Buffalo has options now. Other teams around the league are not sleeping on Palmer's upside either. So the Raiders have a choice sitting right in front of them. Play it safe, trust the young guys to develop fast, and hope for a miracle. Or go all in, bring Palmer to Vegas, and give Mendoza the veteran weapon he desperately needs to launch this era with real impact. In Las Vegas, the house always wins. But only if you are bold enough to bet. Let us zoom out for a second and look at what we actually have in front of us here. A legendary name was cut in the name of toughness. A rookie quarterback chose obsession over ceremony and landed himself in a global spotlight before playing one NFL snap. And a front office is now staring at a $29 million decision that could either launch a dynasty or sink a franchise. The 2026 Las Vegas Raiders are not just a football team right now. They are a pressure cooker. Every single move carries massive consequences. Every decision is either a foundation brick or a crack in the wall. Mendoza's mentality is either the spark that lights this city on fire, or the match that burns everything down if the results do not come fast enough. The roster decisions are either building a warrior culture, or exposing a roster that is nowhere near ready to compete at the highest level. And the Palmer negotiation is either the final piece of a dangerous but beautiful puzzle, or the most expensive mistake this organization has made in a decade. So here is your final comment challenge for today. Do you believe the Las Vegas Raiders are genuinely building something special right now? Or does this all feel like a house of cards one bad Sunday away from collapsing? The moves have been made. The quarterback has picked his side. Now all that is left is to watch what happens when the lights come on, the crowd roars, and the pressure becomes real. In Las Vegas, somebody always leaves the table a winner. The Raiders are betting everything that this time, it is them.